What up? Chilling out. Thanks, Kate. Anyways, chilling out. We're doing a Terrence Pont video response live from the lair. Haha. Dumb Loss still on the books. Grunt Speak Live. And we have a bottle of sake. We're going to take a shot for every time we hear a dumb law being passed or that has passed. So let's just get into it. Feel pretty good. Thank you for
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on, everyone? I'm talking like our commander-in-chief now. Welcome to Joe Biden's America, where nothing is built, nothing is back. And
cheers to Michael Baldwin and his wife. It is Darflini's wedding anniversary. That's what's up. I've had this brand of sake before. It's delicious, especially with some Monster Dragon green tea. If you know where to get those too, would highly recommend it. Oh. Shout out to fangirl Amy who showed me her wand. That's what's up.
And everything is certainly not better. This is Grunt Speak Live, episode 144. I'm Toxic Male, and that King Dong eating evil genius.
I might turn slow-mo off if I feel like it.
Terrence Pop.
What's up, you said succotacious?
Said succotacious.
Yeah, well, today's show is going to be good.
Yeah, we're going to have a little bit of fun with, dishing out some black pills.
Well, my thing is this, is we're going to be covering a lot of bullshit, crazy, hilarious laws that are still in the books.
Yep.
And these laws we're going to talk about are actually going to paint the picture of how weak our government has always been.
And how they like to overreach and take the inch or take the mile as soon as you give them an inch.
That's correct.
Joe Rogan, it was today or yesterday, put it amazingly well. He's like, freedoms given up are rarely regained.
Yeah,
And,
you're right.
And we're going to be seeing a lot of that in Canada. And speaking of Canada, we have a special guest tonight back on the stream, the Skidmeister, Mr. Skidder Rodney, making coffee.
Mr. Baldy.
What's going on, man? You took a break from fighting wildfires to come and hang out with us drunk uncles. What's going on?
Well, this sake, you can taste the rice. It's got a sweetness to it, followed by a nice mild to mild medium burn. Pretty good.
And outside, so no fires going on right now. Thanks for having me. Good to be here.
And you're on what, emergency call to fly and
Yeah. If that phone rings over there, I kind of got to go. But
all right,
it's not. It shouldn't. It's been raining like crazy here, so good to go so far.
Can you explain to me what is the stuff that drop on the forest fires? Is it mud?
Well, it depends which one you got. If you're loading it up from the base, that's going to be a special kind of fire retardant water emulsifier kind of combo that they drop on that. Then there's others that are called the skimmers. They actually just skim right off the lake and drop water off the lake onto the fire too.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
I was always wondering what that shit was.
Yeah. And whenever I think about, those helicopters or planes, whatever, dropping water on there, I always remember that opening sequence from Magnolia where they find the scuba diver up in the tree. Because he's like, he's hoping to find him a couple of Rolex watches at the bottom of the sound. And like, pick his ass up. Oh, shit! Dies of a heart attack somewhere between the lake and the tree.
That's gotta suck.
That would suck ass.
Yeah, especially since the hole to get into it would be about that big. So yeah, it would be pretty hard to get him in there.
Well, that's one of those urban legends.
Yeah. Well, how do the skimmers actually? They have to land on the water, or what do they do to get the water?
Yeah, they land on the water. They're all float planes, right?
Oh,
So they just
okay.
land on the water and scoop as they go, and off they go.
All right, cool.
Yeah, they're the rapid attack volume kind of guys. The tankers are the precision bombing kind of guys that go, okay, we're going to put this retardant here and do that. So, yeah.
Gotcha. I gotcha.
It's good times, man. Good times. But we're going to talk about some shenanigans that are going on in your homeland, good sir. And I know this has got you spun up. Hang on. I'm gonna have to make sure that I put the sound effect on, and then he can clench his fist and do the face.
I can feel your anger. Makes you stronger.
It's the first time we played that one for a guest.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Much obliged.
But hey, it's
I am sick and tired of hearing about
the Richard Potato.
the fucking idiot up north who runs your fucking country.
The Trudy Taint Liquor.
Yeah, the illegitimate son of Castro.
Unjabbed called it Trudy Taint Liquor.
Now, what I don't understand is why the fuck are you? I mean, Canada has several provinces that just want to leave Canada.
Yeah.
Why are they fucking still together? Why haven't they tried to join the United States yet?
Well, I'll make it as fast as possible. And this is Skid's, little analysis here. The biggest divides that we find, I think, are kind of the same as down there. It's not necessarily rich, poor, black, white, east, west, north, south, whatever. It's rural, urban. And so the people who live in the cities, there's many, many more of them, they get to dictate policy to all the rest of us who are living out in the country.
Or dictate.
And so this gun legislation is a perfect example of it. And then to further on answer your question, it's like, the province I come from in Alberta is mostly rural, so it's got that rural way of looking at things. We'll solve the problems ourselves, just get out of our way and make it happen. But the people in the city, especially for the past 3 generations, they want the government to solve everything for them. And that's what they keep voting.
Yep.
So when you start tallying up the votes across Canada for stuff, by the time they've tallied up Toronto, which is way over in the east, it's done. So it doesn't even matter what we vote here. And that's the problem.
Yeah. So basically, you're a flyover state and they ignore you.
Yep. That's about as good a way to put it.
Yeah, you need to get the fuck out of there, man.
There's a word for people who want the government. Well, actually, there's 2 words for people who want the government to step in and do everything for them. Lazy and stupid.
And
weak. Okay, well, the magic 3. Things always come
lazy, stupid, and weak.
Things always come in 3s. Just ask your ex.
Oh.
Allegedly. And that's when she's done.
You're gonna get me sued, bro.
I said ex. I did not say ex. Patriated, withdrawn, indignant, fornicator, entertainer.
Okay.
It's an acronym for you people out there who've been watching since the beginning.
I gotta memorize that one. That one's pretty good.
You wrote that one.
I know.
Why is it I remember this shit? It came out of your thinking meat.
My thinking meat's broken.
Okay.
It takes a little effort to remember stuff.
You gotta drain it out a little bit so you can fill it up with new stuff, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's why I carry the brain around.
That's what getting older is like. It sucks.
Well, that and the TBI and all that other shit. It's not good for you.
No, definitely not. So just a quick overview here. Canada's government is introducing legislation to implement a national freeze on the sale and purchase of handguns as part of a gun control package that would also limit magazine capacities and ban some toys that look like guns. And it
Okay, now when you start banning toys that look like guns, I think that's a bit too far, to be honest. Banning guns, no offense, Canada, but banning guns doesn't always necessarily work. It just creates a criminal underground for bad guys to go, hey, making things illegal makes it easier to get a hold of. Case in point, alcohol prohibition. I mean, I can see why they're banning guns that look super realistic, because that's how accidents happen. Kids get smart with the cops. They start playing with a toy gun that looks super realistic, and then they get a smart mouth on them, and the cop just doing their job thinks it's a real gun. Then the kid gets shot, and then everyone's just like, "Oh my god!" And then it's just like, ugh. I had toy guns when I was a kid, and my parents said, "Hey, if your toy gun looks super realistic, you can't take it outside and play with it." And when I was a kid, I thought it was BS, but now that I'm an adult, I'm like, I see why they said that. Cheers, folks.
Resurrect some measures that were shelved last year amid a national election, which I'm sure Justin Trudeau won totally fair and by the books. And comes just a week.
So then what happens then? Like, you're going to ban the sale of handguns? But what happens when it's like, so what, the police in Canada are going to be the only ones who have handguns? I don't think guns are the problem. I think mental illness is the problem. I don't think there's enough counseling to deal with people's grief. People feel like they're trapped, they have nowhere to go or talk, and it's just like, fuck that. I would rather someone reach out to someone else professionally and say something,
To the Uvalde massacre. So we need these new measures as gun violence is increasing. Well, it could have something to do with the fact that
gun violence is increasing in the United States, not in Canada. But then Canada goes and legalizes coke, and I'm like, say what now? The Great North legalized that snowblind. Well. So it's like, they're not going to give you legal cocaine and then also allow you to have guns. So I see why they're doing what they're doing, but
allowing fentanyl and other things like that out there, and you virtually no crime and punishment.
No, like raising the assault rifle age to 21 and up, limiting how many assault rifles you can buy per week. Like if you just bought one, you should have to wait at least a minimum of 30 days. That's a troll pretending to be my dad. We're not going to even acknowledge it. Go and turn off the phone. And the shit with the Texas mass shooting that we had recently, the dude was able to buy an assault rifle within 2 days of his first purchase. He was able to buy a shit ton of magazines and like 300-400 rounds of ammunition. That's a little disconcerting. Now, if we got to start registering 3D printed guns, we got to start restricting how much ammo you can buy in one sitting. Putting armed guards outside of our schools, so be it. Because assault rifles shoot a pistol cartridge, they should be 21 and up, just like it is with handguns. Now, the solution isn't to ban guns or toy guns that look too realistic. The solution is to have a better sense of mental health. In a modern day society where people are surrounded by bullying no matter where you go, everyone always talks about we need to stop the bullying. But it's like with the internet, it's hard to stop bullying online because of how fast the internet is. So basically, your two options are, well, if you don't like being bullied on the internet, then stop using it. And it's like, okay, that's their solution. It seems lazy and crass, to say the least. But realistically, what are they supposed to do? There aren't enough laws in place that are correlated with online bullying. And then that shooting that happened in New York City where all those innocent black folks are killed. It was just so, all these shootings, dude, it's just so fucking heartbreaking anymore. It's like, Jesus Christ, can we stop with this? And what's bad when other countries are like looking at our country going, well, when other countries start implying stricter gun laws because the United States has a problem with it. Ugh. But here's the thing about YouTube. Mass shootings, they happen in spurts like they have, and then it quiets down, then it jumps back up again. I've noticed this. People are more likely to use a fucking knife because it's quieter, makes less mess, and makes less noise. And it's easier to conceal. That's not the point.
Real crimes.
That's right.
But you were mentioning this earlier.
It's never the discussions and never the right discussions to have, YouTube. When it comes to mass shootings in our country, it's always what gun was used, what color was the shooter's skin, and were they male or female? And it's like, okay, who gives a fuck about any of that? How are we going to stop it? Because focusing on what gun was used, was it an AR-15? Was it a pissed off white person? Do you support guns or do you hate them? It's like, that's not the conversation to fucking have. Okay, it's the truth. The conversation we should be having is, raising the age to buy assault rifles to 21 and up with stricter background checks. And if you purchased a magazine or any sort of like ammunition, then you should have to have a limit on how much you can buy per purchase. If you're not in a hurry to use your gun, you're not going to give a shit if you have to wait a couple extra months to get an AR-15. You're not going to worry about waiting for ammunition or clips, man. But the Republicans don't see it like that. No, you're trying to propose any sort of sensible gun control. And the Republicans, they act like Schmeagol from Lord of the fucking Rings. In this case, they're Schmeagol and AR-15s, their precious ring. My question is, how can you look in the face of a parent who's lost their kid to a mass shooting and go, fuck you? When they're sitting there trying to think of solutions to make guns less of an issue. And, the issue isn't guns, it's people. People are fucking assholes to each other.
Skid, what exactly is the process for even attempting to get a handgun in Canada?
All right. So as a handgun owner myself, I can tell you the first thing you need is a possession and acquisition license. So that's a little card that lets you even buy a weapon to start with. And there's two sorts of it. There's for unrestricted and restricted. Unrestricted is basically any long gun or shotgun. And restricted is for handgun type stuff. And even so, there's another category called prohibited. So you can't even have a handgun with a barrel less than 6 inches. A real 6 inches, because that's a prohibited weapon. You're not even allowed to have that around at all. So if you want a handgun, the first thing you need is to get what they call that PAL, that possession and acquisition license, which requires a course.
And of course, I wouldn't do that to those parents. That's for damn sure. Because it's like, how can you, dude? You have to be a miserable, heartless piece of shit. No, it's the truth. As much as I love guns, I'm gonna side with the victims' families, dude. More than anything, as much as I love guns, I hate mass shootings more than I love guns. And I'm so fucking bloody sick and tired of hearing about mass shootings on the fucking news, and why is it always in America, right? Suck it!
An extra course if you're getting the restricted stuff, and then an RCMP, which is our
Which means if we have to inflict red flag laws, so be it. This fucking asshole who pulled the mass shooting in Texas was going off on Facebook not once, not twice, but 3 fucking times. And no one took it seriously. They're like, he's just, whatever. And then look what happened. In 40 minutes it took to respond to the shooting. Like, well, that didn't help the situation, now did it? So if we got to restrict the sales of assault rifles to 21 and up, and you can't buy an assault rifle once you purchased one for at least a minimum of 60 days. And if we got to limit how many magazines we were able to purchase legally, and that each magazine is only allowed to have 30 rounds or less, no bump fire stocks, no fully automatic, no silencers. Now, for those of you who don't know what fully automatic is, it basically means machine gun. You squeeze the trigger and it just... Semi-automatic, you squeeze the trigger and you have to release it before you can fire another shot. Semi-automatic is like, boom, boom. You got to pull the trigger for each shot. But fully automatic, you just pull the trigger and watch it, you know what I'm saying, kind of thing. And yeah.
Police force check on you. So when that comes back and you get that, which takes a little while, then you can go.
It sounds like getting a gun in Canada is a pain in the ass, man.
Gun store or to a gun.
Now, getting a gun in Wyoming is pretty straightforward. You don't have to have a license. You go in with an ID and the money. And if you're, let's say you want to buy a pistol, you go in there. They'll check your ID to make sure you're 21 and up. They do a thorough background check, and if you have the money, you can give it to them after you fill out some basic paperwork. And then, it's a bit of a lengthy process here, but if you're a good, clean citizen, you should have no problems getting a gun.
Mention whatever and look to pick up the handgun. However, when you initiate the purchase of that handgun, you can't take it anywhere yet, because in order to transport the handgun in Canada, you need what's called an ATT, an authority to transport. And the authority to transport gives you the authority to take the handgun from where it is now to where you want it to be. Now, in the easiest possible case, you're at home with the handgun, you want to take it to the range. Okay. You would have your ATT say, you can take your handgun to any range in Alberta, say. Okay, so if the police pull you over and go, why do you have this handgun here? Oh, because my ATT says I'm going to the range. Okay, but here was your town and here was your range. What were you doing over there? Problem. You're supposed to take a direct route to where you're going as described by the ATT, and I'm not.
So, like, Canada's already like 1,000 times stricter than that. And that's... I mean, I don't want to see... As a responsible gun owner, I don't want to see that happen, because, you can talk all the shit you want, okay? Like, I know how mine works. I'm not stupid, okay? But, like, Canada is way too strict with their guns, in my personal opinion. If we had armed... And it's sad that we have to consider putting metal detectors and armed guards outside of our schools, and that we have to tighten down security. It's sad we got to put armed guards outside of our grocery stores, our churches, our theaters. We have to consider putting armed guards outside of public facilities because of some dickhead who's having a fucking shit day. When I'm having a shit day, if I don't have alcohol to drink, I'll jam some Ozzy Osbourne and I'll get over it. I'll go on YouTube and make a video, play some guitar, and be like, "This is why I'm mad," and then I'll get over it. So to me, I don't what, I can't justify, even if it was my YouTube trolls. Like, at the end of the day, it's like, it's not worth my freedom. It really isn't. I'm not gonna justify my freedom for a bunch of assholes who fucking hate my guts. It's like I said, my trolls are way more invested into me than I am into them. You don't see me creating subreddits dedicated to fucking with my trolls, because quite frankly, I don't have that kind of time, and I just don't give a fuck.
Kind of kidding.
My God, damn.
So No, well, wait for it. And so now you bought the gun at the store. You need an ATT to take the gun from the store to your house. So you have to arrange that.
Most gun shop owners are open carry for the owners themselves. So, like here in Wyoming, if you go, like, say, to a gun shop that like has a shooting range, it's not too uncommon to see people behind the counter who are selling the guns also having one at their side, very much like some Wild West type shit. And is it no coincidence that Wyoming has the least amount of gun violence as far as mass shootings go? Because one, the police here in Wyoming are a lot quicker to respond, and two, everyone's allowed to open carry. Three, it's like, it's almost part of the culture here. So it's weird that when you go to the states that are like Chicago or like, say, Florida, where the gun restrictions are a bit tighter. But to be fair, Chicago has a really nasty history of crime as well. So I guess it depends on the area as well.
Doesn't really take that long, maybe a day or so. You get the ATT, they're emailed to you or whatever. Now you can actually pick up the gun and take it home. Okay, great.
Canada's gun laws are so fucking strict. You have to fill out all these fucking paperworks and all this other shit just to carry it to the shooting range. You can't just put your gun in your car safely in a case where it's locked and unloaded and unsafe and the chamber empty and then go, I want to go to the shooting range. No, you have to have an ATT according to what the Skidmeister is saying. And I'm like, that's gotta fucking suck ass, dude. You can't just, because here in Wyoming, we don't care, dude. As long as you're being smart with it, like you could carry your gun in your truck all the way to the shooting range, then carry it into the shooting range, fill out paperwork and says, hey, I'd like this much time on the range, blah, 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 kind of thing. And you pay for like maybe like an hour and a half on the shooting range. And then once you paid for your shooting range time, you take your gun, your ammo, unload it, you get to your shooting station, boom, you're good to go. I mean, it is kind of fascinating to see how other cultures do the whole gun thing,
Oh, in order to keep it legal, though, because the only reason to have a handgun in Canada is to do target shooting, you must belong to a target range. You are.
So now you have to belong to a shooting range club, and you can't just want a handgun because you want to protect yourself and your family. It's because you have to belong. The only reason, right? Allegedly. Let me ask you this. First of all, fuck mass shootings. Like, you have no fucking idea. YouTube, you have no fucking idea. My heart aches, dude. I turn on the fucking news and every other fucking day it's another mass shooting. I'm like, here we fucking go again. And can you blame the parents for wanting gun change and regulation? Fuck no, I can't. I'll drink to that. The problem with this is you can't simply suggest these things without some extremist, radical, right asshole, gun-loving fucking piece of shit who takes the love of guns too far to the point where their dick gets hard when they hold their gun, because that's just how it is with these radical, gun-loving assholes. Oh my god, look at the AR-15. Oh yeah. Oh fuck yeah. Oh, it's down a Picketeering rail with a laser sight. Oh. Oh my god. Polymer spring loaded. Oh. 35 round clip. Oh my god, yeah. Oh fuck yeah. Oh god, stop. With a modern day high tech scope. Oh god, stop. You're gonna make me
Not legally allowed to own a handgun in Canada unless you belong to a certified range.
A gun club.
Okay, so you have to belong to a gun club before you can legally own a fucking pistol in Canada. Fuck that. And it's like, well, that seems kind of redundant because, like, what if, like, you go to join the hand club, the shooting club, and, like, members of that shooting club don't like you just for whatever reason. They just don't like you. Like, the head of the fucking shooting club says, oh, hey, I know someone, so him and his wife are the fucking worst. Don't let them join, you know, kind of thing. What? I know the fucking left is gonna sit here and say, "Well, do you hear about all the mass shootings happening in Canada, eh?" And it's like, no, you don't. But I got a counter argument to that. Here in Casper, Wyoming, a couple of years back, we had the George Floyd peaceful protest where everyone in town decided to bring their gun to the center of town. Nobody got shot, and everyone in town was armed to the teeth. And it might have gotten scary and intense at times, but nobody got shot, dude. Nobody fucking got shot. And I'm like, it's so not the time to bring your gun. Okay, when it's a peaceful protest, that doesn't mean show off your peace. Like, wow, okay, so an innocent black man was killed by the police using, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's just, no, dude. And that's the kind of crap that makes cops look bad, so don't get it twisted, man.
I'm not. Yep. So you've got that sorted out. You've got your ATT sorted out. You're at home now. How do you store it though? Must be stored with a trigger lock in a locked cabinet behind locked doors, and the ammunition must be in a separate place, locked differently. That.
Okay, what? Let me ask you this. What a pain in the ass. In Canada, you must, in order to own a pistol in Canada, you have to have your gun. It has to have a trigger lock, and the ammunition stored separately, and they both have to be in separate cases. So if you hear someone breaking into your fucking house and you're just like, oh, geez, what's the combination to the fucking, oh, god damn it, fucking, you fucking sit there fidgeting. And the time it takes you to get your trigger lock off, your ammunition, and you're sitting there, you finally got the gun and the clip and the ammunition out of their separate containers. You're sitting there going, oh boy, here we go. Fucking, you're sitting there stuffing your clip, loading it. By the time you get to that point where you're ready to slam the clip and rack the slide and go see what the fuck's causing that fucking noise, that motherfucker could break into your fucking house and your ass is already shot dead. Criminals do not give a fuck about gun laws. Okay, they don't. They really fucking don't. That being said, I don't store my gun loaded. Quite the opposite. I keep it empty. Okay? The ammunition is kept in the little case it came in. You know what I'm saying? So if anyone tries fucking with me or anything like that, I can bust in, break it up, you know, clip it open real quick, drop 2 shells and ready to go. People on the subreddit have been bragging about how they're going to come to fucking Casper on the 4th of July. And I'm like, yeah, you're full of shit. Talking about how they're going to bust down my fucking door and all this other fucked up shit. I'm like, well, one, I'm not going to be in town. 2, if you do it, you're going to get your asses arrested. And I've been getting text after text that keep saying, oh, hey, you know, we're going to come here on the 4th of July, 4th of July, 4th of July. And they keep saying it. And I'm like, you're dumb. You are fucking dumb. If I haven't already filed a report with the police, it's going to be filed any day now. So the Casper Police Department, 1, they know who I am, and 2, they know that my trolls are the biggest cunts, and 3, it's like, yeah. A lot of people in town and higher places watch my videos. So letting all my peeps know that that's what my trolls are allegedly planning. And I'm like, okay, if you want to come to Casper to fucking hang out and not like try anything stupid like that, that's one thing. But coming to Casper just to fucking, they threatened to rape me, they threatened to beat my ass, all kinds of horrible fucked up shit. And I'm like, fuck them, dude. It ain't gonna happen. You fuckers don't scare me. You know, you really don't.
My friends, is what it takes to have a handgun in Canada. But you're right, we need more legislation on this because clearly the problem is the legal handgun owners.
Yeah, right. It's not the mental health epidemic.
What
Whoa.
the absolute flying fornication trope.
And you know what? This is very similar
Wow.
to what they did in, I believe, Germany before Hitler took possession. They passed a bunch of laws where you had to be a member of a gun club and go through the whole deal. And then they drop the hammer and they take all the guns because they're stored at these central locations, these gun clubs.
And you can't get to them fast enough to defend yourself.
That's correct.
When these people say, "Oh, we need common sense gun control legislation,"
Yeah, this is not common sense. This is insane.
This is insane. The gun crime is so horrible. The guns are the problem. When? No, what they really want, like, they want the criminals to have guns and the government to have guns. But I repeat myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'll drink to that. That's what it feels like. Ooh, who's calling us? Hey, what's up?
What are you doing?
Just hanging out. What are you doing?
Well, you weren't answering your phone. I couldn't understand your message.
No, you're good. I'm on a YouTube live video right now.
I see. Well, we need to talk about a couple things that are important. So,
All right, I'll get back to you after I get done making my video.
yeah, try to be quick because it's important.
All right.
All right, love you, bud.
All right, love you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, I'll be right back. Part 2. Hold up a second.